And we know you like to spend every single Saturday with us. So, what we like to do throughout these entire week is watch movies. And now we're ready to review them for you. So, Em, what did we watch for this week?
Well, we watched two movies and we didn't have any, we actually did have a series to watch, but we didn't put it on our show because we didn't have the time. But we will put it on our show next week for sure. But the two movies that we watched was Anek, which released in theaters, and Tulsi Das Jr., which is Rajiv Kapoor's last movie before he died, which is streaming on Netflix.
Perfect. And before we jump right into Anek, we actually have a little surprise for you guys. So Mira and Michael were able to go watch Top Gun, and they have a little bit to say about Tom Cruise right now. Let's hear it.
Yeah, if for anyone out there that's seen the original Top Gun movie coming out in 1985, everyone loves and remembers Tom Cruise's role in this movie and remembers, too, the tear-jerking moments between him losing his partner. But in Top Gun Maverick, we're brought back the same style of a Top Gun movie that we've seen before, only this time in 2022. And Tom Cruise is back to teach a new crew of pilots to lead a very, very important mission for the United States. My thoughts on this movie, it kept up very much with the original. They made the style of the movie very much the same. Even the way the actors would interact with each other in the movie and the music choices was very, very, very similar to the 1985 film, only with 2022 graphics and a little twist to the story. So overall, I was sitting on the edge of my seat. The action scenes were done great. The CGI was fantastic. Tom Cruise, of course, was amazing, with other fantastic actors such as Miles Teller playing Tom Cruise's former partner's son. And we get to see a great dynamic between those two wrestle out throughout the entire film. So that's my take for Top Gun Maverick. I had a great time getting to see it a little early, too. We saw it 3 days before it came out to the theaters. I had a great time with Em watching that.
Absolutely. And I have to tell you, I drove him crazy because, I was gushing over Tom Cruise the entire time. I was like, I was wearing my heart on the sleeve because, hey, what you would do it, wouldn't you? If you're sitting there and all the nostalgia hits you. People, I know you guys did not watch it when, you probably weren't even born when it came out in 1986. But I was.
I do have a confession to make. I had not seen the first one prior to seeing this one. So now I need to go back and actually watch the 1985 film
on
to
Amazon,
fully appreciate
so please
this
go
movie
watch it.
again.
It is actually on Amazon, so go watch
but
it.
But as for someone who didn't watch it, I feel that I was able to keep up with the film very well. There were lots of flashbacks to the first film that allowed for someone like myself who did not watch the first one before watching this one to really know kind of what's going on and, what's at stake, and even shared some of the emotions that happened in the previous film. So overall, that worked great for me.
Absolutely. And, it maintains the continuity from the first movie. So if you go watch the first movie, you will see how it maintains the continuity of characters. Of course, it loses a lot of characters, but then how Ice, the relationship, how they form a relationship in the first movie, and now Ice is there for him in the second movie, even though Ice is ill. And, how Val Kilmer has been sick for the longest time with his cancer. And I'm so glad Tom Cruise was able to at least bring him back for the movie, because whatever said and done, Top Gun is a cult classic. And I want to say it again, Top Gun is a cult classic. And, it was a start of how Hollywood made movies sexy, these military combat, the entire sequences of aircraft combat in the air and making all this look so amazingly glamorous is what this movie did. And Top Gun Maverick is all that nostalgia for us all over again. When I was, and it was a very small, screening room, and when you looked around the streaming room, there were people of my age and even older, and they were just sitting there with nostalgia in their eyes, and people were laughing and crying and clapping, and it was all coming back. Little things like the Great Balls of Fire song, just the Top Gun theme playing was enough to get people just, it was so nostalgic for people that it was a roller coaster ride for most of us. And well, the beauty of Tom Cruise, of course, he looks his age. He doesn't shy away from the fact that he's much older. He plays his age. But what he does across the movie, and you have to understand, he doesn't let his presence overpower the character that he plays, even though he's still you know, um, he's still the ever grinning Tom Cruise. He's just
there were
as
many
hot.
opportunities where he would share the stage with a lot of the actors as well. I felt like there were great performances all around, and Tom Cruise definitely did not, kind of step in the way of those performances.
Absolutely, he let the other actors have their day as well. So he knew when to be Tom freaking Cruise, and he knew when not to be Tom freaking Cruise and let the others have their way. So oh my God, if you want to watch this movie, you gotta go watch it in theater, because some of the sequences, by the way, were not CGI. Can you imagine the craft that it takes for you to shoot those sequences of an aircraft, a flying that low close to the ground, and
that close to the other planes
through those hills, crazy, and to shoot those amazing videos, amazing shots of Tom Cruise flying through. It was just phenomenal. So if you really haven't watched it, all the more reason, even if you have to stitch like 100 hospital grade masks and wear it all over your body, including put your faces in it, go watch it in the theaters, because this movie is only to be watched in theaters.
Incredible review. Speaking of incredible reviews, we're going to switch gears. But before we do, we actually want to let you guys know that the Top Gun Maverick entire red carpet scene premiere was such a big deal. With, I believe it was Paramount. It came out with Paramount, right? It was such a big deal that they actually invited some pretty big names to the premiere. And then they also had it, I think their plans were to have one in LA. And then originally they were set to also have a premiere in Miami for whatever reason, but that just didn't pan out. And they made a big press release about it. So they invited people from outside. You can go ahead and buy tickets. So there were some people who were, making TikToks with like influencers at the premiere. It was pretty cool. So if you guys manage to score some tickets, go ahead and send those videos into us. We're more than happy to post them on our social media. We love to share any and all the content that you guys, of course, make for us.